It is the Charter Review Commission. We are calling this meeting at at 5:40 to order. I would like us to pledge allegiance to the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I would like to have a silent prayer. Amen. Let us get ready for the roll call.
Pastor Morrison,
I'm here.
Ms. Perez,
Here.
Ms. Melendez,
Present.
Ms. Quinones,
Here.
Ms. Bradford,
Present.
Ms. Shield,
Present.
Mr. Myers.
Here.
Record is absent for Vera, Grubb, Mejia, and Rodriguez. We have a quorum.
Now, I don't see any public comments at this point. Okay, and then we'll move on to the opening remarks of the chair. As you well know, we are still in the fifth, this is our fifth meeting, and we are on our October the 2nd, 2025. And I would just like to share that we're doing really well. I think we're meeting our goal in terms of being able to get the charter review, as well as the questions, and all of us are attending well. Now, my only concern is those people who have not been.
Hello. Well, may we see?
Oh, well,
Hey, guys.
please, sit down,
Anywhere?
you're welcome to come.
Okay.
Yeah,
Sit inside.
hi, help yourself.
Hello. Hello. How's everyone?
Welcome.
I see you. I was mistaken. Yeah.
Right here.
What about here, this side?
No, this is fun. Listen, now that you're here, I can move it back. Okay, accommodating.
Thank you.
All right, yeah. Okay, very good. All right, very good. Now, I was just about at the public comments. Do you have any?
No, just going to listen and learn.
Okay, very good. Right, how about you? Yep, okay, thank you, welcome. Okay, I was talking to the Melissa Ventura, who had appointed Mr. Grubb. And Mr. Grubb has not been at all in attendance. So she's going to get with him and see what has been the problem. And we're hoping that he can join us. If he chooses not to, then perhaps we can look at a different alternative. Okay, but that's with the city council person. Also, she's going to share with the Jamie Baez, Councilman Baez, that the appointment of Jonathan Mejia, has some issues, so he'll be reaching out to him as well. So hopefully we'll be able to have an update in the next meeting. Okay. the other things, I just want us to be conscious of that, there's a lot of emails and things that are going around. Just be mindful that when we come together, all those emails are to be being able to be combined so that it actually details the operation of. So just be a little cautious of the emails that we have. I don't mind having to get it together when it's time for the final report, but we're dealing with a lot of emails. And I need to know that when emails are being, if there's an issue of things, I would like to be consulted at first. I did ask that before, and if there's something that I can do or Ed can do, that would be really good. So I did speak with Eric, who is the IT person, and he is going to be working on some of the things that we had highlighted in terms of making sure the Microsoft can be accessed, as the PDF may not be translatable. And so he's looking into that as well. And again, we had some other issues in terms of the making sure that he got in touch with you or you got in touch with him, that if there was anything that he would be willing and available to assist in any way. So he's very, very helpful in that way. So I was glad about that. So we did talk with him today. And then also, when we look at the legislative liaison, that's Miss B, and she's at the city clerk's office. We were asking for some archived documents so that we can look at if there was an ordinance that was already passed that would give our body the budget for, so that we wouldn't have to worry about getting the same information each and every time. If there was an ordinance already established, then we could just draw on that ordinance to say, hey, it's already done. Okay, yes.
Thank you for that. That would save so much time. And I think in the next reiteration,
Hmm.
if we could put together an entire, so to speak, onboarding pack, so that the next commission doesn't have to start the way we did,
Yeah.
which is having no knowledge of what previous commissions did or outlined. So thank you for doing that.
You're more than welcome, but I also have some real issues about not being supported by the city clerk. Because in each commission, review commission, the city clerk was right on. So I don't know if there was a shift in assignment or a shift in task. I'm not sure, but we need to make sure that that is continual so that we can make sure that we have the support. Now, of course, the city manager said whatever they could do, whatever they could do. And we accepted that. But again, before that next meeting, it was still some issues. But hopefully, we won't have to recreate that at this point. And we thank God that Dr. Page was here to help in our transition. So we really appreciate that. Right, yes,
Not having
yes.
that,
Thank
that
you.
information or that onboarding, so to speak, really does slow the process down, and the process doesn't have that much time
Sure,
to work.
sure. And you can see why we needed to have that weekly meeting, just to catch up and to be on top of it. Some people say even twice a week, but I'm thinking it's a little much. But if we need to at some point, that would be, maybe we could work that out. Okay, and then that was also to make sure that the charter review had its budgetary information. as well. Okay, I did receive the job description for the secretary / recording secretary. So we do have that, and if need be, I would take that into the executive committee to see if we need to do anything with that, okay? Are there any questions at this point? No? Okay, and just the other thing is that when we're looking at contacting or dealing with the election services, it's going to be really important that whatever valid question that we're going to have, then we need to be able, as legalese, needs to be put in place as well as a explanation and a pro and a con vote, so that the public, the citizens, would be able to know exactly what they would be able to do. So I wanted us to continue to make that part of our agenda as well. Is there anything else? No, I think that's about it. If there's anything else, then I'll surely respond. The other thing that I'm real concerned about is when we look at the charter, the citizens are not represented. So in the beginning of the charter organization, the citizens are not there. It's in the budget, they're not there. And so I think about, we need to make sure that the citizens are always present as the literally board of directors of the nonprofit organization. So hopefully we'll get a chance to move forward with that, to make sure that the organizational structure maintains the citizens as we the people, for the people, by the people. Yes.
I'm not sure what you exactly mean, because city council represents citizens of their districts.
Yes,
The mayor represents the entire city.
correct.
We represent the citizens of the city. So I'm not sure what,
Have you seen the organizational structure?
no, I haven't.
Okay, then that's what I would direct it, your concern to, because in every single organizational structure, the citizens are the key.
Of course, that's why we represent, that's why we elect city council members, and that's why city council members appointed us. That's my understanding.
What document are you talking about?
No, I wasn't talking about the charter or the charter review commission.
I'm not sure what you're
No, okay, the organizational structure for the city
So
of
the
Redmond.
organization chart,
Yes,
that's what you.
yeah,
Because it is covered in the preamble, the preamble says.
Citizens, right? I mean,
Yes.
he's right.
but when you look at the graphics,
Yeah, okay, that's fine. It's not really sort of charter, it's something we can weigh in on.
yes, because in the charter, it's a part, it's a very important part.
No, I understand. But we can weigh in with telling the city that they need to make sure that.
Absolutely, yes, I just wanted to share that with you so that you would be aware of it.
Just trying to be in the same place
Yeah, I think we are, right?
now.
Yeah, the citizens are.
Good, I love it. Okay, that's all I was,
Representative government.
yeah,
Not really, but we try.
Yeah.
well,
To the true definition, no.
it's really important that we do the graphics as well as the language represents citizen. Okay, so if there's nothing else, I will then move to the opening, the approval of the minutes for September the 25th, 2002. Did everyone get a chance to read them? And are there any
I have not, I read the minutes when they first came down and replied with a correction, but I had not seen the minutes.
Okay. Was your correction added?
The correction is made, yes,
Oh, good, okay.
was made, not. Thank you for noting that.
Okay.
Things were just not aligned, the comments were not aligned with the right topic.
Okay. The, say that again?
The contents, the conversation contents were not aligned with the agenda items listed. So where it says, opening remarks chair, the comments underneath were another section.
I
And
see.
so it was organized and was good from that perspective.
Is there anything? Yes, you.
When it talked about what I presented, it basically said that I presented comments regarding work done, but it didn't elaborate on any specifics with regards to that. So I would like to attach the presentation that I did regarding that
Okay,
and how important that is going forward. So right now it just says comments, but it doesn't allow.
okay, so you wanna attach that to?
Yes, because otherwise, you know, it's not. To me, it's not mentioning why I brought it up
Okay,
and the reason why.
Which session you put?
The section on number 3, the roll call, no, the section under 6.
Well, if somebody makes a motion to approve the minutes with the attachment of
Yeah, I don't want,
Perez's presentation, I'll attach, get those to me.
yes,
I'll attach it to the official copy of the minutes that I've been keeping.
I didn't want to,
okay.
I didn't want to burden him with the work, so I thought by printing him out.
Yes.
Yes, yes,
Okay.
yeah.
Do you have a copy?
Yes, but I can forward it to you.
Well,
You
you
know,
have to take
are you
it.
sure? Okay. Thank
Is
you.
there anything else before we
Can I have a copy?
roll?
Certainly,
Don't-
let me give them out.
Boy, be careful.
I don't know, is it best to
Be
be? Better
careful.
not be happy. Oh, that's good to have. Okay, yeah.
Thank you so much.
Do you have one customized?
I will make a motion
Okay,
that the meeting minutes be accepted with the attachment.
Hold on a second. Hold on a second.
Thank you.
Second.
Yeah.
Lydia, okay, I make a motion that we accept the minutes along with the attached addendum from Ms. Press.
Okay, is there a second to
Second.
that? You, thank you. Thank you. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Thank you very much. Okay. Okay, let us move for the overview of the commission purpose and scope. And as are reviewing the strategic plan that Tanya Melendez prepared and presented.
Let me just make,
No, wait, am I?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
let me just make a comment. I think I mentioned this before, but because we are a public body, we can only act on items that are on the agenda. So my mindset in preparing the agendas, I carry over things from meeting to meeting, sometimes just to keep it on there in case the group wanted to take some action on it tonight. It doesn't necessarily mean that you have to. But if it's not on an agenda, then it would have to be carried over to a future meeting and you wouldn't be able to take action on it at that specific meeting.
We can discuss it, but we can't take action.
That's right.
Okay. Very good. All right, so is there anything else, Tanya, that you would like to add to your presentation?
No, no, I
Okay.
think I gave everybody a written copy,
Mm.
so if anybody would like to use it, we can. If somebody doesn't wanna use it, we don't have to.
Okay, I like the fact that, now, the question I had for you, Tanya. You had mentioned goals, yeah, and then you had also mentioned the, strategic downtown goal. I believe,
You mean one of my references that I
I
used?
think it was.
Okay, so I used a few things from the city as references to create a baseline of goals.
Okay,
If that's what you're referring to.
yes,
Okay,
okay.
so we're,
So that's all I wanted to know, what was the reference point?
they. Uh. They're on the page before the outreach templates. And in the digital version, you can link and it'll send you to the original document.
Okay.
I didn't
Good.
write them out like, like an actual paper, but
Okay.
they're linked in the digital copy. You can just click and it'll send you back to the reference points.
Yeah. Alright. So,
Are we open to comment about this?
you can, absolutely, we're talking on, this is on our agenda. Mhm.
Because I have 3 additions. That I think are important in the outreach. Right.
Really should have put page numbers, shouldn't I?
Yeah.
That would have helped
Helpful.
everyone. I will do that.
Under community organizations to engage.
Okay.
They include, I added the NAACP. And,
Very.
I mean, I think that's important.
Yes.
That part of the city. And under the engagement, the neighborhood civic associations. I added the College Heights Community Council. Yeah, it was. And it's pretty big.
Yeah.
And under engagement tactics. Under digital, I added BCTV and Spotlight Works. Happens they can be very, and they're pretty big.
Thank you, Ann, because that was the part of each and every one, because every one of us has reference groups. And it's good that you brought that out, because it allows us to look at, when we get ready to deal with outreach, then we want to make sure that all of our contacts and individuals as well as organizations are well established. And I think we're not there yet, but get ready, because we want to make sure that it's a comprehensive list. And with all of us working on this, then we will be able to make sure that we've gotten as many representative groups and individuals.
I think that's really critical. One of the things I suggested was an additional question. Have you served, do you currently serve on the city-based border commission? As part of the survey, so we get some sense of whether they've had actual experience working with the city or not.
Okay. Now, you realize, with all of the organizational structures and contacts that we do have, the major part is our citizens.
Mhm.
And I think we're all in agreement that it's about the citizens that ultimately have the say in their government.
No.
Yes, go ahead.
I have one other thing, under participation in the survey.
Yes.
I think it would be important to find out if childcare would be an issue that would prevent people from attending a public forum.
So when you talk about civic engagement, we should add. Is childcare,
Under section 4 participation.
No,
okay,
whether
participation,
they
would
can
you like to
attend.
attend a public forum? Okay, and then after that one, childcare?
Is childcare an issue that would keep you from, or words to that effect?
Yeah, but also, I mean, people taking care of seniors.
Yeah.
for disabled people.
Yes, very much.
So it's-
Yeah.
it's called
Every
personal care.
Yeah.
Personal
Yes,
care
and-
issue.
yeah.
And can I also make a recommendation? Under neighborhood associations, if we included the resident councils for all the public housing. Because
They have a main council.
but there's different.
No, but if they have a main one that's. It's, we can just put them all.
I think all of them,
Well,
because
I mean,
they-
the
they-
strategy is then, if we're gonna reach out to them, then, I mean, we'll either have to come up with a written letter and then have the city mail them out. But we have to provide them the addresses
Mhm.
and,
I thought it would be better if we, for instance, if I approached in person, and spoke to the presidents of the councils. And because every council is different, you have Reading Elderly who has their own in that facility, and then you have Glenside, and then you have Oak Brook and, B'nai B'rith. So that, well, if we personally approach them and then gave them the surveys and had them be responsible to get input from the people that they serve each. And then that way we begin to reach or get input from people that we've never heard before.
Yes, it's really important that we look at October as that preparation. So we're, as we know, this is a document that was, as Tanya said, this was her way of dealing with the strategy of being able to review. But as you understand, all of you have a responsibility to be a part of this document, and we need to make the changes and or additions as we move forward, okay? Because it's still a work in progress. And I think as we move forward, it's going to be a constantly shifting and a renewal for our approaches. Okay, but at least we have something to look at as, you know, a guide in that way. That's why I think it's a working document, and use it like it is, because everybody should be participating in this review. And when it comes to the unseen, because we all have a certain frame of reference, but we also need to make sure that the entire population is represented. So that's the only thing I'm saying for us to stay focused on, okay? Yeah.
would you like to go over the questions now, so we can streamline this or make it as robust as? Because I think if we're
Survey
going,
questions.
if we're going to look at October for starting to reach out to people, then we should have it narrowed down to at least get things that we need to know from the residents.
Yes,
Before we can start to move on to the charter itself, because if they only care about one thing. Let's say, I'm just picking something, term limits, then we should spend most of our time on term limits, because that's what people are asking for. Or if they add things that we did not put on here, then we should look into those. But in my opinion, we should kind of streamline a survey. To look like what we think as a body it should look like, to ask the questions that we as a body need answers to before we move on.
and where would you say in terms of our next meeting? That should go on the agenda,
To be
so
able
that we
to,
can actually make the composition of the
It's in this agenda.
yeah.
yeah,
It is in
Yeah,
this
but
agenda.
this, yes, but at the same time, this is a comprehensive work. So we can't do everything, but if we look at the survey. Is everybody ready to?
Yeah.
To,
If I can, Tanya, maybe what we want to do is pull the survey out,
right, so,
share that with everybody.
And then
If there's any changes or additions to make to it, in the next meeting, we will adopt the survey.
thank you so much.
and the only reason to say that, I mean, I'm grateful that Tanya did all
Yeah,
of this,
it's
don't
really
get me wrong.
Yeah.
Because it gives us a starting point,
Yeah.
right? But then I had also created a list of survey questions and maybe they'll cross paths, but maybe they aren't, and then
And
we can agree to be
Okay.
Do
able
you wanna
to.
send them and I'll just plug them in? That way
Um,
we'll have everything in one page and we can just cross.
that
off
works, that
anything we
works
don't
for me.
I really think anyone who has questions should get that question on that data bank of
Right.
questions, and then if we're going to review them next week, that would be.
That would be
more
perfect.
Absolutely, we'll start with English first, if that's okay, so I'll just translate everything until the end.
Yeah, I think, looking at these questions, which I think are great, piece of work is great, thank you for doing it. But I wonder if you go to somebody and you say, so what do you think about the city home rule charter? People have no idea.
Yes.
I think we need a succinct statement. What the city home rule charter is, and just a paragraph, less than a paragraph, short paragraph. And why it's important. And, you know, put it in terms of the city home rule charter is the constitution of the city of Reading. Like the Constitution of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania and the Constitution of the United States, and it determines, you know, and blah, blah, blah. It's done by citizens.
That sounds very to the point, right? Erin, would you like to write the preamble, or would you like me to write it?
Now, just a minute, hold on a second. When the preamble is already there, okay? Is that something that you're,
Now, what I'm saying is that I don't think that people in the city of Reading know that there's a home rule charter.
Yes, they.
yes, I understand what you're saying,
And
go ahead,
and I
Ann.
think that that has to be, that we have to explain it to people in a very
Succinct.
brief paragraph that says, you know, I mean, if we're sending out questionnaires that we want people to answer, or if we're having open forums, we have to say, you know, why do we want you to come spend an hour with us? Because we wanna explain the home rule charter. I don't know what the home rule charter is. I know we have a mayor,
And the
a
council.
council, but yeah, but do you know what you?
Oh, I do, I just, because you know why? One of the reasons why the home rule charter is not extended to our citizens is because the charter board had not been doing their job. In
It is our
terms,
charter.
that's what I'm saying, they have not been doing their job as,
There's nobody on the charter.
hold on, there, you'll speak to that, okay? Yeah, there's some changes since you and I have talked. But, that was supposed to be the entity that was supposed to roll out so many educational processes throughout the entire city, flyers, workshops, all of that, because that was part of the education.
My husband was on the charter board several years ago, was on for a long time. They did it, come to the program on BCTV.
Okay.
But it was English, and a lot of people,
Sure.
and I'm gonna keep it straight laced. Even in English, the way it's written, it goes over people's heads. So we have to find ways to simplify it in common language. And right now, when I approach Afro Latino Hispano people, just like you said, Ann, what's that? What's the home rule charter? I have no idea.
Not talking necessarily that
It's not just.
The outreach and education.
Yeah.
That was done by the home rule charter board, but what I'm saying is. It was done, but it was not inclusive for everyone to learn from that.
That's, you know what, that's the past.
I understand it's the
Mhm.
past, but it's also still the present,
So what
it's
we
still the
need is-
present.
What we need is to get Tanya an introduction
Yeah.
to the survey explaining what the charter commission is.
Right.
Okay,
I
so,
think we should also be cautious about our phrases of minorities,
Yeah.
because this city, Spanish speaking people are not the minority.
No,
We should be
I
very
know.
careful.
no,
The majority.
Understand.
And that's the
Sensitivity
problem,
is so big.
because now if I go ask a survey question. well, what do you think about the charter? Because it's not in Spanish, and I understand it was the past, but we've tried to get this in Spanish since 2019. Here we are in 2025. We have this translated, but it's not legally certified. So where are we really?
Well, let's just.
Yes, that's a problem.
So I would like for Vigna to talk about what's happening with the charter board at this
The
point.
only thing I can say, I just got appointed 2 weeks ago for the homebrew charter. It's one more person, so we're gonna start doing meetings like this one. So ended up finishing whatever is done, finish it and then put it together for education and an outreach for the people.
It's about
And
effective
then-
Charter board
outreach.
meeting.
What's an MTC, like 4 MTC?
Right.
It's 5 seats, there are 2 appointed, there's a third member that I think is, I was told is gonna be appointed. Within the next 2 weeks by council, so that will give them
Three.
at least 3 members so they can start to function again as a board, so.
We don't have the date to start, but I will let you know.
Beautiful, so there's things happening. So we look forward to that charter board being in place and doing what it's supposed to do, you know. There's 2 more, is there 2 more seats available?
Yep.
All right, so someone else can apply and get an interview if they find it.
But for us moving ahead with the survey and what Tanya's gonna do, we need to get some language describing what the city charter is and what it means to people. That can be.
Did you hear who did you say that,
What?
Sheila, or who said to have a statement, I believe it was you.
Ann said it first, I
Okay.
reiterated it.
All right, then that's what we need to do, is to create a small statement that's succinct to be able to identify the survey questions and then also to explain.
We should send those to Tanya.
Yeah,
And
why?
incorporate- because she's writing the survey. So we can get, send it to her, she can put it in at the beginning of the survey.
Tanya,
That's, I think that's what she said for us, if we
Okay,
had
yeah.
survey questions, we would get them to her.
Good.
She'll gather them all,
So
so,
if you've got suggestions of what that introduction should say, get it to Tanya. And she's our editor in chief.
now see, this is the whole thing. We don't have a survey, we don't have a survey. We need to, please take that responsibility, if you will. The survey questions, okay. That's no
She said she would. Yeah,
all right, very good. All right. What else? Is there anything else at this point?
one more thing, in terms of, approaching, people. We have to approach the youth, because I did a lot of research, and the youth, we haven't gathered information from that, and they are a core part of what's getting ready to happen here. In addition to that, business owners and property owners, it's very important that we approach them with regards to the home rule charter.
Sure.
So that we can get their input, and the survey questions should be geared to, because of the fact that many of people won't know what the home rule charter is. We should be able to guide the questions so that when they answer, it will be relevant to the home rule charter.
I also thought that we would also refer to the survey questions that were from 2013 to 2014, as well as looking at the 2019-20, so that we can begin to look at, and it is just a matter of observing them. We don't have to use them, we don't have to focus on them. But one of the the idea was that the SWOT was going to be used as a foundational point, whether or not they see ourselves, the citizens, what are our strengths in our government, what are our weaknesses, what are our opportunities, and also the threats in our government. So we were looking at that SWOT piece because that seemed to be the one thing, but there are other, there are other scenarios that you could use. But because the SWOT was the easiest and the most not comprehensive, but the one that was able to be understood, So if we could do that, that would be helpful. And I think in our executive meeting, we can look at that as well. So let's put that on the agenda for our executive meeting. Okay. And then we can just look at those things and then be able to funnel them to Tanya, what is the necessary pieces? Because the survey should be how many questions? And that's always a consideration, right? 5 questions, that's what we said, 5 questions. So we're gonna boil this down to 5 questions.
No, we have to ask the right questions.
Yes.
Well, Dave, that's up to you,
That's the
you know what
boiling
I'm
part,
saying?
Dave, that's the boiling.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, you don't want it to be too long, but you don't want to miss any.
Right, I have a question about the survey. How many people do we need to survey?
93,000.
What's gonna count?
Now, she's asking a question, Dave.
She's gonna throw something, Dave, any second.
I'm joking, I'm.
He's jerk, that's all right. Empathy is good.
No, seriously, how many people will it take to make a valid survey? And who's gonna compile it and who's gonna validate
The
it?
survey that I can,
That's a
for
good
this kind of
question.
thing, we probably need at least about 2,000. Get to 2,000 would be great.
Whether they're email, phone, records.
More than that would be even too bad.
You usually have a 10% ratio,
Right.
so if we get beyond 10%, we're good.
And who's
And then, of course, I would like to see either the schools in their statistical analysis to work, because they have programs that are be able to take this information and run it down. So it could be Albright, it could be Penn State, it could be Alvernia, it could be even RAC.
So they would help us compile, once the surveys come in, they have to be casted somehow.
Well, that's what the programs do. They are so used to surveys. And also statistical analysis is real important with the business majors. So it would be good if we could draw those in, and say, if not one college, 2 or 3 of them,
I believe that when,
But would you agree that we could bring in the colleges? And it's just a matter of moving,
yeah,
send out a letter and say, we'd like your help to do this.
with the understanding that they might not be able to do it this semester. Because it's October, their semester's gonna end in a couple months.
Well, they have programs that you could do overnight. They have programs that are overnight. I was part of that statistical analysis at Alvernia. And that's how I know, since then, we have very well-defined technology. If we could make that happen, they could run that through quickly and have the statistics right there. So we gotta get them involved. If we're gonna choose one of the colleges, we can make it happen. I would like to see Dr. Ridley involved. Because that would be
I'm not sure.
Dr. Ridley is the,
I know who he is.
okay,
He
good.
took over the opaque I used to run.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't know that, Dave. Okay, very good. Alright, everybody has a,
But I think there are people at a variety of colleges that have done what you've done, worked on survey instruments and they know how to do it. You can,
well, since you have an idea, since you have a pass, you can reach out to Dr. Ridley. Would I give you that pass? Absolutely. So Dave is going to reach out to Dr. Ridley.
And I'll reach out to all the other.
You
people
can,
Who they
you
have,
really can.
that's done surveys that could help us to the.
And see how we can do that in a short period of time, right?
Yeah.
So we have that, excellent, that's a good team. All right, is there anything else on that? All right, good, anything else? All right, anything else there? All right, so if we could move forward. Now, I don't see Adela.
She couldn't make it tonight.
Oh, she couldn't?
Yeah, she has to, she's either working late tonight or something, she's just been promoted to take on additional,
I'll make sure that I have an email or something.
Just promote
from her.
yeah,
Um,
yeah. I believe she's handling something. I know she's handling something, I don't know what it is. But she's responsible for a class, has extra work for her.
Okay, we'll just make sure if she emailed me or was able to communicate. All right, very good. All right then. So we'll. And I understand that the letter that we already talked about it. And did we approve it last week or we didn't approve?
No, she
it?
was gonna revise it,
Okay,
and it
so we
hasn't been revised yet.
okay, I want to put that again on next week's meeting. So that she can be done with that, okay? All right. Now. We're looking at interpreting services for the commission meeting. Talk to me about.
So I followed up with the finance director. We have been allocated because he has the discretionary authority to do this, so the Charter Review Commission has been allocated $7,000 initially as budgetary authority. That has to go through council because they would have to present it as an ordinance. The finance director has the authority up to $7,000 to allocate money, so that's been allocated, so at least you can get started. Particularly with hiring a recording secretary.
So do you have-
documentation with that number on it? If that's been provided to us so that I have some backup.
A letter. Mhm.
Anything from writing or email.
I don't know that I have it writing, I mean, it was verbally told to me.
Please do,
I can-
excuse me, I'm sorry. In the city of Reading, it's really good to get everything in writing. So that it can be documented as we need it for ours. That's one of the reasons I wanted us to get the original ordinance that gave the charter its $20,000 budget. I like the discretionary funds, but it was not the financial, the finance director's job, it's city council's job. So I like the fact that he allocated us 7,000, but we were looking for the total of 2,000. So hopefully B will be able to come back with that ordinance that it was all the way through.
20,000, right? 7,000, so
20.
that would mean that council would
20.
approve the balance plus the additional 5,000 that if we needed it. So it would be a total of 20,
Yes,
correct? Okay.
so those things have to come together. Yes, B.
Then we are going to put together the job description and the amount of money by hour, what kind of money is gonna allocate per hour the job. You know, you remember that Raquel came in, she said they should charge $100
Yeah.
per hour, then we're gonna do the numbers, the math before the
Yes,
people comes to the, appointments interview?
yes.
Okay.
I think it was a little premature, because as people have said around the table, that we had not a budget, we had not been allocated a budget, nor had we looked at a job description and also the translation services. So I think it was a little premature, but I think we'll be able to get on track with that. Now that we have a treasurer, now that we have the allocation at this point, the 7,000. I just find it to be a little.
And I just wanna, just to, it wasn't $100 per hour, and she made a mistake, it was $100 per meeting. So if we meet for 2.5 hours, she would get paid $100 per meeting. And then $40 an hour to prepare the minutes and also translate them. So with a maximum of, I think, 2 hours for that. So I don't, anything that goes beyond that has to be approved or should be approved if that's the case.
I would like to see the numbers before we offer somebody.
And I did send,
Yes.
did you get it? The description?
I'll check it now. Did you send it today? Like, right?
Yeah, today, I
Okay,
sent it
haven't
today.
got my email since.
So, cause I think you asked it for it and I sent it to the executive. You got it?
For the.
For the job description. Mhm.
For
And then,
the.
and it was a draft, it's not set in stone.
For the recording secretary?
Mhm.
Or
Thanks.
was it, was it,
gave that to us.
I did. Hold on a minute,
You gave it to us for comments and.
didn't I? I know I
think
sent it, but if not, I'll send it again.
so I think that once we deal with that in the executive meeting, put that on the agenda as well. So that we can make sure that's in order, then we'll present it to the body, so that it will be a comprehensive approach, right? And then we would also have the input on the pay. Okay,
Hold on.
okay,
Yeah, I sent it to everybody.
You know, maybe.
that was the,
I don't have.
You don't have it?
Maybe
Hold on.
just send it again.
Yeah, I'll send
okay,
it.
it is now 6:30. And I would like for us to start our,
No, I didn't send it to everybody, I take that back, but I did send it, so does everybody wanna see it?
Yes.
Okay.
yeah.
All right, so let me go into a different,
Okay, let us move forward so that we can now go into the review of the current charter, to finish the review. We may or may not get through that, but I'm hoping that we do, okay? And the other thing, we are going to make sure we review the 2 areas that have been of concern. The one is the charter amendments approved by referendum. Referendum is what city council presents. As you know, the initiatives are what the people present. These are only going to be referendums, what city council has presented. And as you see, there is no initiatives. And I'm wondering, out of 24 years, 3 years, why the citizens have not had any initiative. So I don't know if there's a separate category or there's none initiatives for the citizens. But that's something that we can look at too. And then also I want us to look at the enforcement of the charter again. Those 2 things are very, very important. Okay, so we were we at 12?
We finished 12.
Well, okay, then we're looking at 13.
I
Was
don't
there
know.
any questions?
I don't know that it's worth spending any time on 13, because that was all for the purposes of the transition.
That's right. Did anybody want to have any questions on the transition? Because that was already, there's no more transitions, correct?
Well, it might be if we adopt stuff.
Say that again,
It
Dave.
might be if there's new changes to the charter, there'd be transitions possibly, depending on.
Yeah, but chapter,
We don't need to look at.
section 13 was really just address the issues that were involved in going from the former
Correct,
form of government to the new form of government.
correct. Okay. Very good. All right, and do we need to cover the council districts? I think they're self-explanatory, right?
Yes, I think so.
Transitional committee, okay, and then now, let's look at the charter amendments. Do you, for 23? Okay, good.
Or spend on
Okay, we're moving right along, people. Okay.
I mean, you want me to, I don't know what you want me to do with these. You want me to just read them?
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay, November 2002 created the charter board. November of 2007 added a definition of residency to section 105D.
Let's read him out, Ed, since we do have the time. Yeah, this is affirming. You have that?
November 2002, creating the charter board and affirming the supremacy of the charter. That would be the section 1A on the next page, under where it says enforcement of charter.
Mhm.
Section 1, supremacy of charter, that would be the section that was added. November of 2007, adding the definition of residency to section 105B. And amending section 902 by changing the submission date of the budget from 60 days prior to the ensuing year to 90 days prior to the ensuing year. November 2008, eliminating the link between the salary of the mayor and auditor by removing the requirement that the auditor's salary be increased when the mayor's salary is increased. 2010, combining the departments of finance and human resources and calling it the Department of Administrative Services. Also replacing all references to the Director of Finance and Director of Human Resources with the Director of Administrative Services in the city of Reading. November 2014, deleting the requirement that the city auditor be a CPA with a minimum of 5 years experience in business administration, accounting, management, or municipal government. November 2014, requiring appointment of a charter review commission at least every 5 years, but no sooner than every 3 years. And prohibiting city officials or employees from serving on the commission. November 2014, providing authority to the mayor to issue administrative regulation and procedures. I believe that was incorporated into the 4 sections that are referenced there. November 2014, removing duplicative language and clarifying the relationship between the mayor and the managing director. The 2 sections are referenced there. November 2014, requiring an amendment to the annual position ordinance to authorize hiring of city personnel. When such hiring exceeds the authorized number of employees. November 2014, adding a new section for council submission for initiative of certain proposals. June of 2020, amending the home rule charter to provide the elected city auditor with the ability to hire their employees as fixed by the annual budget. June of 2020, amending section 225 to provide city council with the ability to hire its employees as fixed by the annual budget. June 2020, amending the charter to provide city council with the ability to appoint its own solicitor as fixed by the annual budget. June 2020, amending section 607 to eliminate the Department of Administrative Services and going back to the Department of Finance and adding a separate Department of Human Resources. June 2020, amending section 104 to provide term limits for city council members, city council president, the mayor, and the auditor serving more than 2 consecutive 4-year terms. Amending this November 2020, amending section 705 to eliminate the residency requirement for the heads of departments, offices, and agencies. November 2020, amending section 705 to eliminate the residency requirement for the managing director. July 2021, amending the home rule charter to eliminate the recall of elected officials. We talked about that last meeting. July 2021, correcting section 1204 regarding the manner in which that part may be amended. March of 2022, amending the council districts in section 1312 as recommended by the Redistricting Advisory Commission. May of 2022, amending the charter to eliminate section 907 appropriation and revenue due to the limitations imposed on home rule municipalities. November of 2022, amending section 912 by allowing the capital budget public hearings to be held on the same date as the operating budget public hearing.
May I interrupt? Is that the $10 million contract one?
No, the $10 million contract one is the one for November 2014. The last one that interjected or amended section 1113.
Okay.
That was the citizens, that was a citizens initiative. That's the one that I worked on. But the way it was worded wasn't the way we had set out to be, so.
Yeah, they have to have, the one we're talking about now, there's when they present the operating budget and the capital budget, they're required to have a public hearing on those, and that amendment just allowed to have both hearings on the same day.
Thank you.
November 2022, amending sections 1102 and 1103. Repealing and reserving sections 1104 through 1109. We talked about those last meeting. And November 2023, eliminating the requirement for the city public works director to be an engineer.
And the only, and I just have to mention, can I mention something?
Can you hold on?
All right. Thank you.
As you see, the amendments from 2004 to 2023, some of them talk about the article, the article, and only give the information of the article. Others will give a little bit more of an explanation. That's why I'm saying we must be able, when we look at the ballot question, we have to be able to ensure that the citizens understand. And that's why it's so important that we present it in the plain English that's possible when we're doing the ballot questions. Okay, because as you can see, there's some sections that only, some ordinances, some ballot questions that only talk about the sections and doesn't give you an understanding. So that's why I say it's really important that we get our language right as we're dealing with the ballot question. Go ahead, Sheila, I'm sorry.
That's okay. What I wanted to point out is if you look at the November 2014, when it speaks about the city auditor, with a CPA with a minimum of 5 years experience, so they're gonna remove the CPA requirement. But then we have to make sure that if that person doesn't have a CPA requirement, they have at least 5 years experience, correct? That's what it says there, it's clearly defined. However, when it speaks to the removal of an engineer. So, and an engineer, as it relates to the Public Works Director, and there's another section that speaks to that. There is no minimum requirements, and when I researched it, it's very important that we have a minimum number of years of experience, and they're very technical as to the reason why it's important for Public Works Director, for Executive Director of the Water Authority, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Now, when I asked, what if they had no experience, if the engineer, if the engineer criteria, the engineering degree criteria is removed, then would a person, let's say, who has 25 years experience, how does that fit in? Now, it was more agreeable, however, it spoke to making sure that certain areas are gapping or making sure that everything is backed up because of the lack of engineering degree. It could put us into a different state.
Okay, let me just say.
The liability is bigger.
Let me just say that, remember, these charter amendments, amendments were approved by the referendum of the voters. Now, what I want Ed to share with us is what is the process of repealing? What is the process of repealing something that the voters had no knowledge or just blind voted in that
Or
respect?
reinserting it back in.
Right.
Right.
So that's one, but.
Can I make a comment before we go into that?
Sure.
So I work with Public Works a lot.
Mhm.
And I asked that same question when it came for the ballot. So the city has an official city engineer who is not the Public Works Department. It is a separate job, whose job is to make sure that all of the works are kosher. That person's job is to go through every single plan of work and job that's going out there. They sit there and they check every single one of those jobs. The Public Works Director is an operations position, like a manager. So the person who's running Public Works now has the experience of city management as opposed to an engineering degree. Because in this one case, to have an engineer who's a scientist running a department, they're not necessarily an operations person. They have their engineering degrees, the science, they have their expertise. That doesn't mean that they're managers or that they are an operations person. So in this one case, out of all of the changes, I went digging up, I was like, okay, why? I went and I asked directly, and they explained it to me because that job is the one who was in charge of all the other people that manage the actual city. Trash, like all of the others, so they need a manager, a person who has a manager or management experience to do that job. So that's why they asked to remove it,
Okay,
okay?
now, would that be the same as it relates to, let's say, the water authority?
I didn't ask that. I'm
Okay.
only telling you about Public Works, because that's the
Okay.
one that, because I work with them so much in both of my jobs, that when it came up, I was like, okay, why? Because I was like straight up, and they explained to me that they wanted,
Those are good questions to ask the city officials when we bring them in to talk to them.
I
Okay,
love that, yeah.
yeah, thank you.
I think the water authority, like the parking authority is separate from
Oh, yeah.
the city council or anything else. It's a,
No,
it's a state established authority.
no. It is a state established authority, but the city still has responsibility
Right,
over
they're
it.
not
And
necessarily.
also financial, financial liable, but more importantly, a recipient. The city literally receives from, so they have a good relationship.
Right.
And part of those budgets are about what the parking authority contributes to the city and also what the boarder does. So they have a symbiotic relationship, so they're
So
responsible.
what we want to maybe begin to do is collect the types of questions that we want to, this.
This is what we wanted to, absolutely, Dave, because when we get ready to review, we want to be able to stay directly on the job and the position of that position. All right, so when we go to city council, we want to talk about what do they do, right? And the way, we may not get a chance to talk to all the department heads, we may not. But we will make sure that if they're in the charter, then surely we want to bring them in. So we have to get with that as well.
And also we have to remember, even though the authorities are separate, they can't institute any increases in meters, any designate any residential parking. They can't designate rates without the approval of council. And the boards of those authorities are appointed by the mayor. So they, even though they say they're private, the council technically has oversight over what's done in the authorities.
And in that oversight, the mayor has a subpoena power that he has not yet utilized. And I'm really surprised at that because when there were issues, whether it was the parking authority, the case that went to the border, when they were sued, why was the mayor active or being a strong mayor when it came to instead of going to court, it could have been resolved that there would have been subpoena power with him. The council be able to negotiate, the council has subpoena power.
Yes.
The council has public hearings, the council has this investigation. So those are the things that, concerns me as we move forward, because those positions are not enacting what their powers are, you see. And I think that there needs to be, if we're gonna have a good government, then surely those positions need to be activated as well. But that's just my civil rights and criminal justice stuff going on. Go ahead.
I just want to make a balancing comment to the justification that was given to Tanya that you shared with us from the employment law person, that really, if you are running a public government head agency, you should have the top credentials. So if you're running the financial layout for the city's auditor, you should have a CPA, because the guidelines of making sure that you meet the requirements can't be said, I supervise, but this is my direct report. No, you need that knowledge. Now, a lot of companies will justify, I don't want to pay the compensation for the person who has the education and the experience. But there are billions of engineers with MBAs. So it's not an anomaly, but I think the concern point for you bringing it up was that the people who made these changes were self-fulfilling. That's the problem, more so than the actual job description.
And that's why the minimum requirement of experience was important to me.
It is absolutely important, and my point is that it may need to change to have a degree on city management.
No, if you're supervising, or here's the thing, if you're an expert and you have a supervisor who's not an expert, where do you go when there's a problem out of the ordinary? And it's not the finding the solution, it's who's accountable. And in supervisory roles, you are never union, you are management. And if you are non-supervisory, you could be. So there is a lot of liability reasons to make sure, okay, Just a comment.
No, it makes sense, it makes sense, it makes sense that we look at this in order, because on the public works, management and projects, the director signs off with any city's, responsibility to the government. And when that person is maybe not as qualified or don't have the same experience, that's gonna be a different situation. Because it is a liability issue when you deal with government work, from the federal, from the state. And the public works is very important to deal with the roads, the all of those things, So it's interesting to see why they said it wasn't, then it's not, then it is already. But part of our review is about to make sure those recommendations get up to city council so that they may be able to have a reconsideration. But I like the discussion that we're having
Can I
here.
ask a question?
When the public comment
Oh.
comes, yes, we'll have.
Write your question down.
Mhm.
You have a pen?
Great, go ahead. Go ahead. Ed, everybody good?
Here you go.
Okay, go ahead, Ed.
Sure.
Well, before that discussion just took place, you had asked a question. Which,
Yeah, Chili has one.
I give it to her.
Oh, that's okay, I have to use it now. Sorry.
You're not allowed.
I wanna be here, so maybe we can make sure that we have cameras in the bathrooms.
You're good,
And she-
all right. All right.
Just kidding.
before that last discussion, the chair had asked a question of me, which I, as I best recall it, was, what can be by amendment to the charter be replaced or eliminated or modified? Is that the question?
Yeah, appealed,
So
repealed.
repealed, okay, so it's really a very simple answer in a sense, but let me just point out that under section 1203 of the charter, any proposed amendments to the charter that are made by this charter review commission have to be put before the voters no later than the next municipal election. So it's really the last sentence, well, next to last sentence of section 1203. Within 6 months of its appointment, recommend any proposed amendments to the charter. And then here's the important point to remember. City council and the mayor by ordinance shall place all proposed amendments on the ballot no later than the next municipal election. And the power of city council in this respect is only ministerial, meaning that they have to, if this group proposes an amendment to the charter, it has to go on the ballot. City council can't say no, the mayor can't say no, they are obligated to put the ballot question or the amendment to the charter on the ballot for consideration by the voters no later than the next municipal election. So to answer the question that I think was posed by the chair, I mean, and I'm not being facetious when I say this, but you could propose an amendment that would eliminate the offices of city council or eliminate the mayor.
You're being facetious.
But you could propose any, this is the charter.
Yes.
This group could propose any amendment to the charter that it wished, and it would go on the ballot. Now, whether it's gonna be, whether it's a wise amendment, whether it would be voted in the affirmative by the voters, that's a question that only the voters would decide, but your power is very, in a legal term, we would use as plenary, meaning it's very broad. I mean, you could amend any or propose an amendment to any section of the charter that exists.
And so, again, repealing a section would
Repeat-
be no different than.
You could repeal a
amending-
section, add a section, modify a section. Whatever the group.
So we could offer it as an amendment to essentially reinstate the old language.
Correct, I mean, let's say hypothetically, you just talked about the city engineer, if you want, or the director of public works. If you wanted to oppose a requirement that the director of public works be an engineer, you could do that. And it would be put to the voters.
Well, now. I think you truly understand the power. But with power, there has to be wisdom. And I think when we look at the wisdom
Yeah.
of.
For the record, I'm not proposing to eliminate city council and the mayor. I'm just.
I wrote that.
Being facetious, right?
I was trying to make a point, and I don't wanna see that in the newspaper tomorrow.
No, there's nobody here, okay? But more importantly, I think that it gives us an understanding that we have a real responsibility to not just the voters, but also to the citizens of Reading. And that's real important that we make sure that we have that wisdom. Now Sheila was out of the
I missed the best part.
You
right?
missed the
Said we should
best
get rid of
part,
the
yeah.
council and.
But
Yeah,
no,
see
see that, you just said that,
You remember, I
said
prepared
that.
the minutes, that will. Let me give you, another thing that sort of struck me as we went through the amendments. Back in 2010, they combined the Departments of Finance and Human Resources into the Department of Administrative Services. And replaced references to the Director of Finance and Director of Human Resources with the Director of Administrative Services. And then in 10 years later, in 2020, they eliminated the Department of Administrative Services and added separate departments of finance and human resources.
Yeah.
So, that's to me an illustration of what you can do. You can
Yeah.
make it, recommend a change, and then a subsequent amendment to the charter can totally reverse that. And that was probably based on, I don't recall the circumstances, but it was apparently, my guess is based on experience within City Hall of how the single Department of Administrative Services functioned or didn't function,
Perhaps who they wanted to hire.
or maybe who they wanted to hire. I wasn't involved in any of that, so.
Okay, good people, so you
So we're
missed
not
the part,
eliminating the mayor and
you
council.
missed the part.
That's it.
Okay.
You missed it, now do
We're gonna
we keep
eliminate
her in
either
the
the mayor
dark?
or council.
Do we keep her in the dark?
I'm gonna regret every
No,
second.
go ahead, tell me.
Dave, you paraphrase what Ed said.
Essentially, we have a real significant responsibility in terms of what we propose to council to put in front of the voters, and so we have to behave responsibly. We can propose amendments that restore things in the city charter, or we can amend them in a way that reflects what they used to say in the city charter, but we're not prohibited from doing that kind of thing.
Okay,
Is that fair?
And council has to put it
Has to
on the
put it
ballot.
On the ballot.
let me ask one.
The point I made, let me just say this, since you weren't in the room. Section 1204. Just make sure.
Yeah.
1203, sorry, section 1203. Proposed amendments to the charter that this group makes go to city council and the mayor. But their power in that regard is not discretionary. It's essentially administrative. They have to put on the ballot amendments that this group proposes.
They don't have a choice.
They don't have a choice. So if this group, and that's where I'm getting myself into trouble.
No.
If you would propose an amendment to the charter that city council and or the mayor did not like, they can't stop it by refusing to put it on the ballot,
Now, along those
as long
lines,
as you do it within the 6 months.
okay, along those lines. can we propose those changes and give them an opportunity to vote them in as ordinances, or does it have to go to? See, what I'm trying to do is, if we don't have to take it to the vote, and they as council agree with it, then we can put something else on the ballot that is more important, because that was taken
I mean,
care of.
I don't think there's any prohibition, Sheila, that if this body came up with a good idea and proposed it to council and said, hey, we think you should adopt, you should enact an ordinance, they're free to do that. I mean, that's within their legislative power.
It's gonna be how we decide we're gonna put things in front of city.
That gives us something to think about, would
Yes.
you agree?
Yes,
And then it gives us an opportunity to be able to put other amendments or referendums to the vote.
The thing that I want to emphasize is that the charter is very clear that this group has 6 months to do this.
Mhm.
So, if you don't do it within, because there's been some talk about requesting an extension. If you don't do it within the 6 months, you lose the ability to mandate that it go to the voters.
Okay.
So you have to, I mean, there may be a possibility of working beyond the 6 months, but you would not, if you're in month 8. You would not have the ability to force council and the mayor to put it on the ballot.
So,
You have that 6 month window, so you just sort of have to, keep that in mind as you move forward.
and so that would make it that we would have to finish in time to be able to pull it on the ballot by the 13 weeks before the election.
Even more than the 13 weeks, because you want to make sure that the surveys, the input, the public hearings are done, so that the public can interact with us and then be able to, because our goal is to
I
represent.
think her
the
point
community.
was. To get it on the ballot in
For the
May of
primary, yeah.
2026, you would
Mhm.
have to
February.
have it to the Board of
17.
Elections, 13 weeks before that.
Correct.
and
That's right,
I can,
that's right.
if we were not to do that, but did it like 10 weeks beforehand, it would go to November.
That's right.
on the ballot.
Okay, that's gonna be my next
It'll be on the
question.
ballot, it just, if you miss the primary election.
Then we can put it divert it
That's right.
towards the November election. So either way, it could go on the ballot.
Right.
Okay.
It'll-
So that'll give us more
As
time.
long as you give it to the council and the mayor within the 6
that
months, it has to be on a ballot.
Right.
It's the next municipal election,
Okay,
so if you miss the ballot,
for May,
yeah, there's a process to get it on a ballot, because it has to be,
correct.
prepared, presented, all that. If you miss May, then you go to November.
All
That's
right.
what I would.
Now, let us go, because let's go forward so that we can finish up this review, okay? As we were at,
Enforcement of the charter.
Right, so the only real remaining section of the charter is the establishment of the charter board. Which, is a different body than this one. We talked about the supremacy of the charter, the governing law. Section B there on the next to last page requires elected city officials to be oriented in the home rule law, the charter, the administrative code, and the ethics code.
stop right here, please. When we look at, and I would say all of you get a chance to have the administrative code and also the ethics code. The ethics code is this, and it's really, really good to look at that as well. So that's, I'm saying, added homework, but it's the best thing because the charter does refer to the ethics and also, now, Ed, can I ask you a question? Are you the solicitor for the ethics board as well?
I am.
Okay, are you the solicitor for the charter board?
Yes and no.
My, Ed,
Well,
you gotta check your status
the
here.
charter board is, you know, sometime earlier this year. All the members resigned and the solicitor resigned.
Ah.
And as.
Don't hold your breath, don't.
As we discussed earlier, I'm told they have 2 appointments, firm is one of them. And there's a third one under consideration, so that board's gonna be reconstituted. Since I serve as the solicitor of the Board of Ethics, the city solicitor asked if I would serve as an interim solicitor to the charter board, which is very interesting to me because it's, you know, I don't have a client. I'm a solicitor without a client. I do not intend, once, I mean, I will help facilitate the new charter board to select a solicitor. I will not seek appointment to be that solicitor. So that's why I say yes or no. I mean, technically, I guess the city considers me the interim solicitor, but there's no client yet. I haven't done anything. And I don't want to be the solicitor of that board.
Okay, thank you for your disclosure. I appreciate that. Because.
No, nothing personal.
Oh, no, no,
It's just, I just don't want to do it.
That's fair.
Okay, thank you so much. Okay. Now, we won't even talk about what happened and all this. We're glad that Davinia is a part of the new, and we're gonna be right there. We're gonna be right there. Because education is gonna be really, really important. Yeah. All right, so go ahead, Ed.
All right, so section 2 is just the composition of the charter board. As I said earlier, it's 5 members appointed by the mayor with the consent of council. I mean, I'll just be honest, this is why I don't want to be charter board solicitor, because they have a very broad jurisdiction. Hear and decide all cases alleging violations of the charter or administrative code, except that its jurisdictions shall not extend to any case arising under the ethics code or the personnel code. So it's a lot of work.
Yeah,
That's just why I don't want to do it,
I
because
don't
I'm
blame you.
busy enough as it is.
Okay.
But the board has authority to issue binding opinions, impose penalties, administrative fines, refer cases for prosecution, conduct investigations. Council is to appropriate sufficient funds to enable the board to perform its duties. And then the last sentence says out, you know, the charter board is charged with the responsibility of educating the public and members of city government as to the rights, duties, and obligations. And C is that council is to adopt an ordinance. Or, yeah, enact an ordinance adopting regulations for the charter board. Any taxpayer agreed person may file a complaint with the charter board alleging a violation of the charter or the administrative code. You know, and then there's a whole process by which these complaints get adjudicated. Section 3 is you can recover your attorney's fees if you win against the city. And then section 4 to the transition committee, and I'm not, honestly, I'm not really sure what that's for or why. It was for 2003, and I don't remember the significance of that, to be totally candid with you.
When it went into.
Are they talking about the home rule charter? The
Yeah, when it went
transition
into
committee?
place,
Yeah, this was done in 2003, though. That was after the charter was adopted in
transition.
1993.
Yeah.
I don't know, but I don't think it has any significance in today's world.
Maybe 10 years later. Okay. Okay, any questions at this point? Pretty well established. I think it is really well
I do,
reviewed.
I have one.
Hold on a second, Sheila. is there anything other than an observation that you may or may not have, I mean, you may have? Okay, so we're at this point now. And this is where we begin to go through to look at what the charter board. The positions. And we're looking at, now, Ed, did I ask for whether or not we could have a letter sent to the city manager, the city council to ask them to come into our meeting the next time? Which would, okay, so then I think, I guess we're gonna have to put it on the next agenda. Then we get ready for the.
Well, no, it's on there. If you look, if I may, the meeting schedule, section 11, I think all the meetings in October are here in the Penn Room.
Mm-hmm.
And then section 12, under item B, it does reference scheduling interviews. So if you wanted to talk about scheduling interviews, you could do that tonight.
Okay,
And we can begin to prepare the survey
good.
We already talked about
Yeah.
that extensively, yeah, and
So
for the public hearing.
yeah, because I honestly, my advice would be that you should really start to schedule. If you're gonna conduct interviews and public hearings, you should try to get them scheduled,
And
because
schedule, yes,
you run into November, December, and
yeah.
It's gonna be tough.
Sure, we don't want that because it's gonna be the holidays, it's gonna be people's interruptions with vacations and things like that. So the more we're able to do for the next couple of weeks will be good. So we're expecting the first, second, third, and fourth district. So it would be the District 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then we should have, should we go with the
5, 6, and the president,
city,
the chair.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we have 5, 6, and the president and the clerk. Because that's in there as well. So if we do the first 4, we will have that. If we can get a letter out to city council that they would be able to be in our 3rd meeting. Right, 3rd meeting.
And we want to probably,
What date?
we're asking for this
Look
to
at
give
the
us
page.
suggestions about amendments to the city.
No, what you're going to do is what we're going to look at their positions. You're gonna look at who they are supposed to be in their positions, right? And when we look at the legislative branch, we're going to make sure we can go down those lists and say, ask questions about the position, okay? And that's up to you to decide what questions you want to answer, and then we could bring them together.
Yeah, the
And
question,
then,
that's what I wanted to ask you, are we going to, like we did with the survey questions?
mhm,
Are we gonna do the same for the questions that we asked city council?
oh, yes, because it's gonna be round robin. So we want a list of the questions made by all of you as per the
The article,
position,
Okay.
yes, by the article,
okay,
okay? You
to
may.
be fair to everyone, I think
Yeah,
that.
I think we have to be fair, because we're gonna ask the same questions for, if they want to identify their district. Particularly, we can ask that question as well. Identify your district as this.
We're gonna ask
thing.
them to talk to us about Article 2, that's it,
That's exactly right.
that's all.
Mhm.
Are we gonna ask them, are we gonna interview them as a group? Not us as a group, but the council districts, or are we gonna interview them separate?
Okay, they're gonna be here in the room.
All of them, all of them.
So that board,
Yeah.
I forget.
Mhm.
Okay.
Is that what you meant, Stan?
Yeah.
Good, okay, and then that's.
Clarify the date, you said October 23rd, because you said the third date, I just wanna know what date that is.
I'm asking you,
Oh,
Yeah, go on, George.
what's the third?
so today is October 2nd, and
Yeah,
then we have the 9th, the 16th,
There
and the
you go.
23rd.
the 16th, the 16th. Okay,
So you wanna, you want a letter prepared to city council asking the members to appear on the 16th.
And then 1, 2, and 3, and 4 on the 16th, and then 5, 6, and 10 on the 23rd, right?
Yeah,
yes, yep, the 16th, 1, 2, 3, and 4,
on Friday, it's the 23rd.
and the.
23rd is the shirk. Yeah, I'm gonna
You have
have
something else?
I have conflicts perhaps next 3 days.
You do? Okay. Is there any way you can come by Zoom?
One's
No.
the word dinner that Ann's involved with it. The CTV is giving out awards.
Oh,
okay.
Oh, okay. Who's a recipient? Are you a recipient? Oh, good for you.
Congratulations.
No, that. No, that's good,
That's on
Dave.
the 23rd, the 16th is the alternative president's dinner,
Okay,
and the 16th.
so you won't be here.
Can we,
I'll try,
Okay,
but I'd like to go to the alternative president's dinner.
you do that.
Can we-
We can hang.
can I make a recommendation that instead of being Thursday? We could meet like a Wednesday or a Tuesday, would that be a problem?
I think it will be, because we're already established in the Thursday.
I'm not gonna be in the 16th either, I emailed that.
Oh, so
What'd you
there's
say?
3 people on.
Yeah, I'm not gonna be in the 16th either, I remember emailing that.
But you guys are gonna be here
I'll be.
on the
I will
16th.
not be here on the 23rd.
Okay, and he's going to be on the 23rd.
He's not gonna be here on the 23rd.
Okay, so we'll have a forum. So, you know. Be well.
But to Sheila's point, is it possible to maybe move these, 1 or 2 of these meetings to a Wednesday instead of a Thursday?
I can't do the Wednesday.
We can't, the reason I say that is because everybody was good on Thursdays.
Yeah.
We already surveyed that, you know. We can keep the video for you, you know, or that will be,
Page can do that.
yeah, oh, yeah, yeah. And then you can do that the next time you
If
come,
we have questions, we
you know. And your questions will be added, you see what I'm saying? So you wanted to get.
So we have city council people, I'm not able to make that meeting, I can ask them questions and they'll be asked.
Absolutely, yes, it's a round robin,
Okay,
you know.
sorry.
And the other thing is make sure on the agenda for next week are the questions for our council people, okay?
Okay, should we write down our questions?
Yes.
Yes.
And submit them
Yeah.
before the meetings?
Yep, yep.
We're asking questions, we're not asking questions next week.
No, but they're coming,
No,
they're.
Okay, submitting your suggestions, okay, I like that.
And please, let me know,
Who do we submit that to you?
yeah, to
Okay.
me. And then we'll have it, so when we go to the next meeting, you'll be able to see what you submitted.
Okay.
And then anybody can ask those questions as of the position, and then your questions will be asked. All right.
Can I make a comment?
Yes, Sheila, you've been all day.
I'm
Thank
sorry.
you.
That's what I do best, I'm sorry. I just wanna make reference to the amendments or the referendums that were passed. If you look at the July 2021 one, the second one that speaks to amending the Home Rule Charter Section 1204 to correct the manner in which the charter may be amended. That's a perfect example of no explanation given, because that was the way they were talking about our citizens initiative, our right as citizens to be able to put a referendum on the ballot.
Yeah.
And nobody was educated on that. And now, instead of doing it the way it was written in the home rule charter originally,
Yeah.
now we have to reference Title 53. And we didn't know if that's gonna impact us positively or negatively
Right.
in terms of the requirements of signatures that are needed in order for it, and it's valid signatures, because the only people that can sign those petitions are registered voters in the city of Reading. That's why when we go out to get initiatives signed, we must go by the book. In other words, whatever the Board of Elections gives us as a list, we go door to door by that list for the first whatever required number of signatures, and anything extra is a given.
Yeah.
But at least we know that we won't be challenged in terms of those signatures that are required. But that's a perfect example that we weren't educated, and that was during COVID.
Yeah.
So all of these that were put through without people's input, because there was little to no input during COVID.
Yes. Okay, thank you for your points here, Sheila. What I have done is ask the Board of Election and the voter services to bring back all of those elections, all of those ballot questions as they were, that was given to them.
Good.
And they said, wow, that, we'll do it. I said, are you busy? Yeah, we are, but we'll do that because they're right there. I said, okay, because then you can see what the people were confronted with when the ballot question was there. And that's the only thing that the council gave to them.
Yep.
And when you look at that, you say, wait a minute. I might have voted, I might not have, but when you see what was given to them for the ballot questions, I think all of us will say, wait a minute,
Yeah, that'd be helpful.
we might need to be.
Yeah.
So by the next, hopefully by the next meeting, we'll have that. So we have on the ballot, on the next agenda are 3 things, right, Ed?
For next week's meeting?
For our next week's meeting.
Well, what I have taken notes on is next week, there's gonna be a lot of work on the survey.
Yes,
And then on the 16th of October, we will have invited city council members from districts 1, 2, 3, and 4.
correct.
And on the 23rd, from district councils 5, 6, and the council president.
Mhm.
And then what about the questions next week? If we're gonna be preparing the questions for the survey, we should also be preparing the questions
Yeah, I
for
think-
the districts.
Yes, that has to come, so think about that and please get them to me. So that we can have your questions and then we can produce a list so that you guys can look at that. And surely there are gonna be some other ones, but at least we'll have a format. Yes,
Is
Ann?
the revised letter need to be on the agenda?
Believe I was.
Yes.
We're gonna hold that to the next meeting, yeah.
Yes. Okay, so that's gonna be really good, moving right along. And I'm looking forward to, the support of the administration, when we move this out.
I have one more comment.
No, you don't.
Yes, I do. It's in your terms,
Go ahead.
our
Go
job
ahead.
is to educate, right? That's what we're hoping to do,
Yes.
impacting through education, right?
Yes.
And I was told that we needed to create our own Facebook page. The problem with that is,
What?
if the city clerk established that page and then put it on the city council's or the website, so that, because it reaches more people than if us individually doing it. And that's the point. There's a difference. If I were to do it, it only reaches the people that I have connections with.
Mhm.
And then, in the hopes that they share it, but if they don't share it, only those people get educated, if they get educated at all.
Okay.
And then the second thing is the subtitles. We never discussed who we're gonna get, to be able to provide the captions in Spanish. We need to, make sure that we begin educating the people, and to me, it's personal, because I know that people have no, first of all, English-speaking people don't even know what the home rule charter is. So Spanish people, they are clueless of what it is. So,
When, I just interrupt, when we, because Jamie was the person who was initiative on the initiation for the charter to be, translated in Spanish. So when he's there, right, for the second district, we can ask him directly, right? What took place? Why is it still held up? You know, because he did bring that through, brought that forth. They did have a contractor, but they never certified it, you know? So it never got published as certified,
Translations.
yeah, translation
Yeah.
that was legally sound. And so that it was left there. So those are the things that we can talk about. Now, as far as the translation for the subtitles, no, I did talk with Kent on that. And he said, there's no way we can do that. He said, we'd have to create a whole nother thing. So I said, well, I think maybe if we have something that he said, I'll look into that. So we'll see what happens. Now he's out on vacation now.
I know we moved public comment. Great.
Yes, please, I'm so sorry. Thank you.
Yes,
Well made when you talk about the importance of this body. As far as.
I didn't have your name just for the.
Joel,
Yes, just a minute.
Joel, please, are you like yes? My question actually. Came up. When you guys talked about. The. Water authority. And she said she doesn't know. Who owns it, or it's a part of the government,
No,
or is it
it was
private?
I said that. I said that I have a question about whether authorities would be considered in this discussion. I think those was.
Well, I've known people that had issues with the water authority in the past. And they try to find out, is it a private entity or is it an entity that is part of the government already?
Yeah.
And they're always flip flopping.
Yeah.
Right, alright, and so we have an entity that's operating in the city. Where do you go when you have a company? You go to the city, do you go to the state? You know, do you sue them privately? Cause they don't tell you. Oh, it's difficult even for you guys. Yeah, you call them, but a lot of times the issue doesn't get resolved. My point is, you know, it's something that I think that citizens of the city need to
Need to clarify.
have access to whether or not this is a city entity.
Yeah.
Or is it a state entity, or is it a private entity?
Yeah, you've got a complaint, this is what you do,
Yeah.
Right,
in both English and Spanish.
yeah, that
Good
was,
point.
yeah,
Good
yeah,
point.
because a lot of times people have issues with that and they.
Particularly Bravo, they're not the easiest organization to deal with.
Yeah,
And neither is working for it.
oh,
No,
who you got
it's, and as an entity, can you guys find out? Cause I would imagine as a citizen already, that this authority is just an arm of the government,
Mhm.
correct? Am I correct in
I
that
think so,
assumption?
yeah.
Mm-hmm,
It
yes.
is.
it's a little bit more
It's,
nuanced,
yeah, you go, that's what they say, it's a little bit more complicated, but it
because
shouldn't be.
even though they all say authority, they all have different,
Viewpoint.
they're. You know, the parking authority is formed under the Pennsylvania Parking Authorities law. So there are unique characteristics of a parking authority that the water authority doesn't have. For example, members of the board of the parking authority can be removed by the mayor
Which they were.
without just by his own decision. Other authorities, the members can't be removed except for just cause. The redevelopment authority is formed under the Pennsylvania Redevelopment Authority law. The water authority is formed under the Pennsylvania Municipalities Authorities Act. The housing authority is formed under the Housing Authority law, and they all have unique characteristics. And the one general comment I would make about authorities, that I think is what you're asking about, Joel, is they are all public entities, but they do have sort of some private characteristics because they are separate from City Hall in respect. That's why municipalities form authorities, is to separate the authority from the governing body, just not the city of Reading. This is statewide or nationwide.
But
And they're not elected.
Right, but
They're not elected, that's right.
and when it comes to changes, like you said earlier, that these body have certain broad powers when it comes to making changes to the policy of the city. The policy for the water authority, for instance, who decides? Them by themselves, or does the city council has a say?
Well, it's a nuanced answer because, like I represent the water authority, just so you know.
Okay. So you
The members of the board of the water authority are appointed by, they're nominated by the mayor and they're approved by city council. And they serve 5-year terms, I think. One way the elected officials influence authorities is by who they appoint to the board. I frankly advocate appointing, and the city does have trouble finding people who are willing to volunteer their time, true, not only by the city, but countywide and statewide. But you should appoint people who are responsible individuals, who are responsive to the needs of the citizens and the customers. But by the virtue of the fact that it's an authority, it is, the mayor technically can't call up the executive director of an authority and say, do this or do that. The authority kind of a degree of independence.
Right.
Now, we're all sort of rowing in the same boat, we're on the same team, so there should be, as somebody said, a symbiotic relationship. I mean, I think there should be, but one of the reasons the water authority exists is because if the city ran the water system, it would be subject to regulation by the Public Utility Commission.
And that's
Which is
important.
both good and bad. Okay, there's good
Right.
points to that and there's bad
Yes.
points to that. I don't want to debate, I'm not here to debate that. The water authority is not regulated by the Public Utility Commission.
Right,
Municipal authorities statewide are not regulated by the Public Utility Commission. Again, that may be good, that may be bad, depending on your perspective, but somewhere back in the, well before my time, I believe the city formed the water authority so the authority would not be subject to PUC regulations.
so they can charge whatever rates they want
But the city leases the water system.
for 40 years.
No, well, not really.
Oh.
Not really. There's a lease between the city and the water authority, because the water authority pays somewhere in excess of $10 million per year in lease payments to the city. The parking authority makes payments to the city substantial. I don't know what the amounts
No,
are.
one second.
But it's, the authority world is, I use the word nuance, because it's hard to come up with a clear answer that's applicable to all, because the authorities all differ.
They will differ, and I agree with you, but the rules are there. Now, one more question, so.
Excuse me, can I have the motion to?
Yeah, let me hear it.
And then if you.
We'll
need
adjourn the
question,
meeting and I'll answer your
Then
question.
he'll get you, okay, so can I,
Yes.
did I hear a motion? Second, excellent, now you guys can talk, all right.
So, that's for us.
This was a good meeting.
This is a good meeting, excellent meeting.
Which one is gonna